party was about to begin, and as with any good party planner, I quickly reviewed my pre-festivities mental checklist before the guests started filing in the door. Lipstick? Check. Floral head wreath? Check. Body glitter? Double check. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling something was missing. Oh, my fairy wings! How could I have forgotten? Just as I finished strapping on my wings, the first guests walked through the door. They were a 9-year-old girl named Olivia, dressed as a dead maid, and her parents. I could tell by the way she clasped her hands together that she was nervous. Suddenly, I became uncharacteristically nervous too. This Halloween event that I was planning was the first of the parties I would plan for my volunteer service project, and I wanted everything to be perfect. I greeted the girl with and her parents with a smile, and as soon as I saw the grin spread across her face, I immediately felt a connection with her. Nerves weren't the only two things we had in common. She, and the rest of the children I was expecting as guests to the party, have type 1 diabetes just like I do. This is why my fairy wings suddenly meant so much more to me. That night, my job was to spread a little of my own fairy magic and help these kids forget about the struggles of living life with type 1 diabetes. I knew if I could do that for a couple hours that evening, I would feel fulfilled. My name is Telleen, and this is the story of my volunteer experience with the Eastern Iowa chapter of the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, or JDRF for short. When I chose to volunteer with JDRF, my expectations came nowhere near my extraordinary experience. I thought office work and setting up events would dominate most of my volunteer hours, but after my first meeting with the wonderful Kari Turner, the Quad Cities Development Coordinator for JDRF, I quickly realized I was mistaken. Kari, also a type 1 diabetic, was as enthusiastic about our cause as she was welcoming to me, her first volunteer. Together, we did all we could to help JDRF achieve its two main goals. 1, to help find a cure for type 1 diabetes. And 2, until a cure is found, help make the lives of individuals living with type 1 diabetes easier by relieving the impact of the disease through improving treatment methods and providing emotional and informational support to families affected by the condition. The Halloween party I spoke of earlier is an example of an event where emotional support is available to families of children with type 1 diabetes by providing an outlet to socialize and exchange advice. I have to admit I was touched by the number of parents who came up and asked me about how to make pricking fingers and low blood sugars easier for their young children to cope with. The appreciation I saw in their eyes will remain one of the most rewarding aspects of my volunteer experience. Because I am no scientist, my efforts to assist JDRF in finding a cure for diabetes were indirect, like stuffing folders for a corporate luncheon and helping re-register walk teams for the 2014 Walk to Cure Diabetes by making endless phone calls. Undoubtedly, where I felt myself make the most difference was in the office of U.S. Congressman Dave Loebsack. JDRF's Promise to Remember Me campaign helps secure funding for the organization by allowing individuals and families affected by type 1 diabetes to meet personally with legislators who play key roles in granting funding for the interest group. I was lucky enough to take part in this campaign and had my foray into advocacy alongside Kari and an 8-year-old boy named Ben. In Congressman Loebsack's office, each of us took turns sharing how the disease impacts our lives. When it came my turn, I suddenly became a little hesitant. Never have I tried to hide my diabetes, but I am also not one to wear it on my sleeve. My diabetes does not limit nor define me, and I have never been interested in sympathy from others, so I have always underplayed it. As I sat across from the congressman, I willed myself not to hold anything back, and from this I learned the most valuable lesson of my volunteer experience. I was not doing myself, or the children at the Halloween party, any favors by remaining quiet about and minimizing my diabetes. Sometimes, you need to break your silence. By sharing my story, I am happy to report that I am one of the thousands who successfully helped renew funding for the Special Diabetes Program in 2014. Now, when I attend JDRF family events, I can smile inwardly, knowing I took part in something that will hopefully one day lift the burden of type 1 diabetes from these children's shoulders and help them lead a more happy, healthy, and carefree childhood.